Okay, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do a video on this week. So let's Google Nintendo. Oh, I found a video talking about Nintendo and how they're treating Zelda. I think that's what I want to talk about today. Ranting about how Nintendo's treating Zelda. They might have other stuff other than the Game & Watch planned for this celebration of Zelda's anniversary, but that doesn't matter if they're only gonna give one thing, like two things. I don't even know if Skyward Sword HD is for the anniversary or if it was just something they had ready on time. So from Games Radar, the title of their headline here is "The Legend of Zelda won't be receiving any more anniversary releases," says series producer. Which just makes me mad. I mean, I like Mario probably more than I like Zelda. Mario games are more like, they do have a story, but they are definitely challenge based, while Zelda is definitely challenge based and stuff, but it's also very story driven, which isn't my type of game. But it's like Nintendo. You literally gave Mario 3 games in a $60 package, a battle royale game, a re-release of a Wii U game with extra content, Mario themed Splatfest. Like, even though they said they were done with Splatfest, they did a Mario themed Splatfest. Like, come on, you're a big company, you're worth billions of dollars. I think Nintendo is missing a great opportunity here to remake or just re-release. They literally did HD re-releases of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Wii U like a generation ago. So literally all they would have to do is like change up some of the button controls, and maybe if the gamepad did anything different, they could fix that. I don't care if it's coming like in a year or two. Why can't they just celebrate Zelda's anniversary now? Having Breath of the Wild slated for 2022 without a like beginning of 2022, first quarter, second quarter, something like that, probably means that it's not coming till like late to like the end of the year, closer to the holiday season, which would make sense. They push it as their holiday game. I just don't understand why they can't give us a Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD when they literally did it for the Wii U. They had to do more work for Skyward Sword because they had never remade that one. They would have to do more work. They did work for that game. They did the work for the other two. But for right now, they wouldn't have to do any work because they already did it. They already did all the work that would need to be done for the HD remake. I don't get their marketing strategy, because even if it is just marketing, like they didn't want to announce anything before Skyward Sword HD release, and maybe like September or when we have our next direct, they'll be like, surprise, we lied to all of you, we have stuff coming. But I doubt that would happen. So I think the thing that is most likely to happen is that they'll one day release the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD remasters. They'll someday release those on the Switch. But for right now, this is all they're concerned with for the anniversary. They're only concerned with Skyward Sword HD and a Game & Watch, which is really frustrating because I know Nintendo knows that Zelda is like one of their best-selling franchises. Like, if you slap the name Zelda on it, most people will buy it. It's not like a series like Metroid Prime, where you have, like, Nintendo probably worries about that series because they don't know if it's gonna sell well, because the past games haven't sold well. Zelda is a franchise that will sell well, no matter the game. Breath of the Wild 2 will probably sell just as good or a little worse than Breath of the Wild, because Zelda just has that kind of hype. You'd probably see a lot of Zelda fans upset about this, because why wouldn't you? I feel like what everybody was expecting is something similar to what Mario got, which is either some type of collection or just re-releases of old games, like 3D games, and maybe some extra software like Super Mario 35, maybe a Legend of Zelda 35, which would probably be harder to pull off, but I feel like it would be fun to play though. It's just annoying because it's like, I've been sitting here all year expecting Nintendo to release some type of anything, any piece of software other than Skyward Sword HD for the anniversary, and yet they didn't. Like, Nintendo found the perfect time to do it and they didn't. Why? They're a $1 billion company. Ask them yourself. They definitely won't respond unless you're a journalist interviewing someone from their team. But Nintendo deserves a lot of the hate they get. A lot of the time it goes too far, but I understand where a lot of people are coming from with their frustration. I don't like what they're doing here. Like, I don't like how they're treating Zelda compared to Mario. Zelda is definitely... It might not sell as much, but it probably means, like, just as much or even more to Nintendo than Mario does. Because it sells well. Zelda is such a great franchise, and the games are always so in-depth. And with Breath of the Wild being an open-world game, it's clear that they're taking great strides to modernize the series before they do Mario. Like, by modernize, I mean, like, make it larger, make the landscape bigger, make it more appealing for people who like story-driven games and stuff like that. Not necessarily modernize, but they're doing more with it than they do Mario. Because Mario's always been about that linear, playing around, going to different specific places. And Mario Odyssey was a very big game, but it does not have the depth and the exploration that Breath of the Wild does. I want someday to have an open world Mario game, because that would just be really cool. I don't know how they would do that correctly, and if they mess it up, it might be it would probably be very bad. But if they do an open world Mario game, I hope they take some notes from Breath of the Wild. Like, not necessarily like, oh, how they have it set up or where they have the shrines or stuff like that. It's just like, look at the framework they've done. Look at how they adapted something that used to be very linear into something with an open world. Like, do the same for Mario, because Mario takes the ship, travels around from place to place, and just finds moons. Mario would go around finding different moons, doing different objectives. Sure, there would be some easier ones and easier stuff to do, but for the more hardcore people, there'd be harder stuff to do, which is, I think, how they should tackle it. But this video is about Zelda, and Zelda is a very important series, because I think the Mario team, the team that's going to be making the next Mario game, should be working on an open world Mario game, and how they adapted Zelda to open world to do that with Mario. It's like, Nintendo, you are a billion-dollar company with such amazing developers. Nintendo focuses a lot on different aspects when it comes to Mario, but I feel like if they take what they did for Zelda and put it into Mario, like, obviously it's not going to be the exact same thing, but like I said, take the framework, look at it, try and do the same thing. Don't like hurt the other aspects of the game. If it's going to maybe calm down a little bit, but I just want a Zelda Anniversary Collection like they did for Mario. Like, look at this. That's Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I haven't opened it. Like, it's still in the packaging, because, I don't know, I have the digital version of it, because my order wouldn't come, and I just kept this one sealed. But it has Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy on it. The 3 most influential Mario games ever. I don't understand why they can't do something similar for Zelda. Like, I get it, there's more Zelda games. Like, there's 2 on the N64, 2 on the GameCube, and 2 technically on the Wii, but one of them is just an adaptation for the Wii. But can't you release it in, like, packs? Like, you can make so much money off of that. Release the pack for N64 and then bring over the HD remasters. That's a better idea. I just think it's so weird that Nintendo just did not care enough. Like, they don't seem to care enough about Zelda to do something similar. The Game & Watch is cool, but I mean, I have the Mario Game & Watch. I don't use it. It's been sitting on my desk and on my bookshelf here for like the past year. About a year, like 10 to 11 months. Not exactly a year, but you get it. You get what I'm saying. I haven't used it at all. I don't understand what Nintendo thinks they're doing. Like, they're just losing money not doing this. Like, it's not necessarily losing free money, because they have to spend money to get these things done. But you can't, you can just, like, pay people to do a lazy job and make millions off of it. That's what you literally did for Mario 35 All-Stars. It's literally what you did for that. You paid people to make emulators off of the games, and working emulators for GameCube, Wii, and N64 games, and just put the games in there. Stretched Mario Sunshine to widescreen, made a jank UI, and you're done. Probably didn't take them that long. Probably still have the original files from the GameCube. But, I mean, you ask Nintendo, they don't care. Nintendo, it's like, when you expect them to do something, they do exactly what you didn't expect. And then when you expect them to do what's unexpected, they do what you'd initially expect. They are so out of left field and just don't care Like, they don't care what you say. Like, literally, you saw what they did, like, last month. Or was it earlier this month? I can't remember. Time flies too fast. They literally just announced an OLED model of the Switch. Nothing different. No RAM, no extra CPU usage, no extra battery life. Literally all it does is has a better screen. No better game performance, which is really dumb. What do you expect from a $1 billion company that realized it could have sold its console for $50 more? That's probably what happened. They probably realized they could have sold the Switch for more at launch, so they're making up for it by upping the price of the new OLED model. It's like, I don't even know where I left off, because it's like, you're probably just like a few seconds after my last sentence, but I've literally just been sitting here on my computer for the past few minutes, I guess. Like, I forgot. I don't know where I left off. But I just wish Nintendo cared more. Like, there's just certain points in time where you just want someone or a company to care, like, about how they could make their fans happy. Like, there will always be those people who are like, how could you complain about this? Nintendo did this, and this. It's like, no, I can complain. I'm going to do that till the day I die. You cannot complain, but don't get mad at me for complaining about something that's stupid. There will always be people that defend Nintendo, but I feel like finding a middle ground, like understanding what Nintendo does best and critiquing them when they mess up on that, you should probably be more, like, concise and, like, more calm with your hatred towards what Nintendo does sometimes. But it's just like, sometimes I just get really mad, because it's like, there's so many things Nintendo could just do so much better that they don't. So I guess to wrap up this whole rant, I wish Nintendo cared more about Zelda and would put more time into the anniversary. But I can kind of understand why, if COVID pushed back a lot of the things that they were doing. I don't care if you don't agree with that or don't like that idea. You can leave me what you think down in the comments. I think that Nintendo should have capitalized more on this, made their fans happier. Like, I don't care if they just did it for money. That would make me happy, having those games to play on the Switch, instead of having to try and search out to buy those 2 HD remasters or find the original copies of games, which are, for the GameCube games, are getting pretty expensive. Because GameCube games were always expensive, but are getting pretty expensive now. But yeah, I guess that wraps this up. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week with maybe talking about some portable emulator stuff. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.